Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is me once again, screaming into the void of the internet. Just got off. So, here we are. You see the title? Let's get to talking about it. Why I don't really care for having female managers. You know something, man? I think that chicks, when they become managers, usually are more prone to becoming like nagging, because it's like most chicks like nagging by nature, you know. If you haven't been around chicks, let me tell you, they will freaking nag you. It is a rare chick that will not nag you in some capacity, you know. And a little bit of nagging over, like, you know, something important. Okay, like that's, I don't even consider that nagging. That's just, you know, someone wanting you to do something that will benefit you later on, you know. Someone telling you to do something that's beneficial to you, like, I don't know, freaking cleaning your room or something like that. I don't really consider that nagging. It is nagging when they want to micromanage every single freaking detail about how you want to go about cleaning your room. And, for example, the freaking chick here, you know, that's the manager, which I'm going to, like, leave anonymous. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say any location. I'm not going to say any establishment. Because, funnily enough, last night, with closing, a freaking coworker mentioned that, like, she left a freaking anonymous like Reddit post about a freaking employee, and somehow the manager found it. So, you know, I don't want to risk my job, but essentially, like, the freaking manager here, like this chick, right? One of the managers, like, she's one of, like, the kind of naggers, like, oh, I need you to do this now. I need you to do this now. You need to hurry up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen. Respectfully speaking, in my mind, of course, you know, I'm like, you can't make a freaking person go faster when there's, like, literally only, like, 2 people here, you know, and they've only got 2 arms and 2 legs. Like, they're not Squidward. They can't work faster, no matter how much you might want them to, you know. Just is what it is with that. And I can't help but feel like a lot of these gals love it because, just like in real relationships, right, all they have to do is call the cops, right? And then, like, you know, you get in trouble because they're going to believe them. And with this case, it's not obviously the police. They just get to fire you. So you can't really talk back. You can't retaliate. Now, you can, but you have to also be prepared to lose your job. You know, so that's it kind of is what it is, you know. But I do like my male manager, and I've always discovered that, you know, and I kind of told him, like, you know, I respect you, and you're a manager that most people would like to have. And he says, hey, I appreciate that because I've been in everyone's shoes. And he seems like the manager that, like, he busted his balls in, like, position 1 and then he rose up, you know, whereas she seems like the manager where it's, like, kind of, you know, she was in the right place at the right time, or she was a pretty face and, you know, right then and there. Because, for example, the male manager, when I talk about managers, he has never come late. When I'm early, he's early, right? He's always on time. Any freaking female manager that's, like, coming here to, like, open up or anything like that, they're late to open up, they leave early, and they're still making more money than you. It's just, it makes absolutely no sense, you know? And you really want to wonder about how is it that someone can come late, leave early, make more money than you, and they're also in charge of, you know, whether or not you get hired or fired, you know, like, because, for example, one of the people that came here early in the morning, like, one of the guys, and he's been here way longer than me, like, 4 years, like, she let him go the other day, because I was wondering where he was, like, for, you know, several days. And I think that's why my schedule has been changed so much, because usually I've been working mornings and occasionally evenings, but now it's just straight evenings. And I'll get, like, 1 morning a week. So I'm just like, hold up, you let somebody go. And get this, listen. Get why she let him go. She let him go because he wore a jacket over his uniform. You know, gee whiz, someone's cold in the morning, and, you know, like, or maybe he wasn't cold. Maybe he just didn't want to get splattered by grease. Because, listen, let me tell you something, guys. No matter how careful you are, like, working at a restaurant, if there's, like, a lot of grease that you cook with, and we do cook with a lot of grease because we do fry a lot here, you will get splattered, and that gets very old. I can tell you by, like, the several grease burns on my arms and stuff like that. And they're not really like super bad, you know, like they're mainly the ones that are like, you know, like they'll like scar up, and then after a while, you know, like they'll like peel off. You know, they're not like the ones that are gonna like leave like really deep scars. So I shouldn't say the scar, they'll scab up and then they'll peel off, right? But that you let an employee that was coming here for 4 years go for that, you know, like the male manager is never like that. He's never nagging. He's never doing that. Because if anything, he feels kind of like fatherly. And, you know, I think that's what a lot of people need in terms of managers. Because people like to forget that there will be new people into a scene. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if they were studying that, like, for years on end. You know, yelling at them, is there a time and a place for it? I don't know about yelling, but, like, you know, kind of being stern. Yeah. But there's also a time to just be like, hey, listen, this is what I need you to do. You need to talk. You don't need to talk like a freaking mother or anything. You just need to talk like, hey, listen, just do it like this, calm, guide them, show them. And that's how he does it. And that's why I think everybody here, like everybody, like likes him. Everybody likes him. Not one person thinks that he gives you trouble or anything, because he doesn't. And it's genuinely, I think, because he's been in everybody's shoes, and so he doesn't yell. And like, if you do make him like a little bit like, oh, come on now, you know, he's more like the just kind of like disappointed father, you know, kind of. That's what I mean. Like, he feels very fatherly. And I think, again, like a lot more places should kind of be like that towards like freaking employees. They shouldn't be so quick to give you a hard time if you do something wrong, especially if it was a mistake. Some people are just like flying off the rails because like some of these managers, that's the only power that they have. You know, it's the only power that they have, and so they kind of like take it out on you, which is hilarious to me. So, but you know, it is what it is in that case. In any event, you know, it's the weekend for me, pretty much, because after Saturdays, usually I'll have Mondays and Sundays and Mondays off, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, I think I'm getting an allergic reaction to like these freaking gloves when I'm on dishes, because my freaking arm legit looks like it's a goddamn... It looks like fire ants F this sucker up, like... So I think I'm gonna, like, probably go get some freaking gauzes and, like, some freaking cream or some ointment or something, and just wrap this sucker up like I'm a freaking ninja or something, because... Yeah, man, like... It really feels bad to, like, bend my wrist, because it, like, makes the skin pinch, and... It feels awful, dude. It's like really inflamed, and it's like, it really just reminds me of like fire ant bites. It's like so red and stuff like that. It's not pretty. It's not enough to make me not come back to work or anything though, and I hope it doesn't get worse and like, you know, kind of inflame my arm. But it's really only on the spots, and I feel like this is how I know it's the glove, because like the glove kind of like rubs up against my arm in certain places when I'm washing dishes, and so maybe that's what's going on. So I think I'll just, like I said, you know, get some gauzes and, you know, wrap it up, and hopefully that'll handle it. And if I just have to keep doing that every time I wash dishes, that's pretty much fine by me, you know. I gotta do what I gotta do, you know. Like, that's pretty much all that matters. But I guess kind of trying to wrap this to a close, pretty much, yeah, man, female managers, it just feels like... It feels like they just come here, and it's like they get to have multiple husbands and just nag them to death, because the fact of the matter is, all of the people in the kitchen are male, for the most part. There's, like, one chick that's here, and she isn't here usually. She's, like, only here because, like, I think they let go of, again, the guy that I mentioned in the morning, and so now she's here. But, like, we have to do all this heavy lifting and stuff like that, and I'm sorry, I genuinely think that people in the kitchen, they should get paid like $20 an hour. And I don't say that just because I'm in the position. I'm just letting you know, like, we get paid $1 more per hour than, you know, the people in the front. But the people in the kitchen have to prepare the food. They have to grab the food and carry around like freaking 50-pound bags of rice, and, you know, just moving. Realistically speaking, you're moving hundreds of pounds of weight a day in this kitchen, and people really don't understand that. You know, like, it's a lot. And Lord have mercy on you if, like, the freaking supply truck comes, and guess who gets to, like, load it and unload it? Yep, that's you, so. It's irritating, but, yeah. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of ridiculous that we've already got the harder job. Like, you would think that maybe, like, you'd get a little bit of slack, and you do get a bit of slack, and you look what's wrong, like the freaking male manager. But then the freaking female manager comes along and, nag, nag, nag. I want you to do this. You're being idle. And I'm like, hold up, what are you doing? And in typical fashion, because it's a freaking chick, 9 times out of 10, they're just talking. They're just in the back, chilling. That's the worst kind of management right there, like where they're telling you to hustle, they're telling you to do this, and then what are they really doing? What are they managing? Probably their lips, because that's the only thing moving, so it is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and call this ride and enjoy my weekend. Got my first paycheck. Only 3 more to go, because I think I am going to have to wait on this 4th paycheck. If not, I'm really just going to have to be tight with the money and just eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or freaking ramen and call it a day. Because, like I said, I don't know where the heck my folks want to move, But all I know is I need to be close to this job. This job is all I've got. And it does kind of worry me a bit that she's so willing to, let go of people that have been there way longer than me. But I haven't given her any reason to, give me trouble, so I just hope that, nothing happens, because if something did happen, then, well, that kind of blows up in my face, doesn't it, One moment I'm over here trying to, move and stay close to this job, I get fired, That would suck big time. But luckily, with the money that I've saved and stuff like that, hopefully, even if that did happen, maybe I could try and get, other jobs nearby. And there are, a lot of restaurants. There's, a whole bunch of stores, because, again, this is, a Market City area, so even if I lost it here, then maybe I could, try and get something at maybe this hotel that's across, because maybe the hotel will have, a kitchen area, and I could probably use my experience here to get that. So I try and, keep my mind open to multiple possibilities, because that's just how volatile the job market is today, 1 minute you're fine, and the next it's just back to freaking job purgatory, where you don't get responses and any of this crap. It's just, it's really, really, really infuriating, It really is. But I try not to think about that too much. I don't completely close the door to that possibility, because, like I said, I've had plenty of bad luck enough to know that, I can't leave the door open to, complete garbage shows happening in my life. So, yeah. Like I said, I do still feel like I am cursed in a lot of aspects, I'm just fighting the curse, pretty much. And I think that's what a lot of us are doing, You get such a bad hand, and then, you start having things happen consistently, even when you do try and fight it. You can't help but feel like you're not cursed, You can't help but feel like it. Some people just have stuff going so easy, But then some people just, they make very stupid decisions, and then they still don't really suffer consequences. Listening to some of these freaking people at my job, right? Because they can't help but talk, because there's so many chicks here, right? So many chicks. One of them talks about how, she's gonna move because, I think her sister that she's living with is going to, move somewhere for a boyfriend that she met online. And I'm like, how freaking impulsive do you have to be to where you're over oh, let's just move in together. I met you online. Oh my gosh. It's just so stupid, dude. It really is. And hey, maybe it'll work out for him. But like I said, it's stuff like that where it's look at what could happen to you if you took that as a guy, right? Then you could be put in an area where you don't know anybody, and it's tough, but other people are put in that area, and they just think it's all well and good. It just kind of is what it is with that. But whatever, folks. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Call my ride. Get ready to come in. Thank you guys for listening, as always. Really do mean it, because even when I'm, just chilling here and just talking about my day, I feel like I'm doing this kind of as a way to monitor my own growth. And maybe you guys can monitor mine as well, because like I said, I'm not against you guys. I'm always on your side, And I always will be. I don't take this crap for granted. I don't take these months where I was looking for work, for granted. Oh, you just need to try harder and stuff like that. I get why a lot of you just said F it. I get it. I get it. It's hard to do this. I'm not gonna sit around and lie to you. The wage cage does take its toll. You know, I come in sometimes on, like, again, like, you know, freaking 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep. I come in, you know, with freaking feet killing me and stuff like that, despite getting, like, freaking decent shoes and stuff like that, and it does take a toll on you, you know? I feel my fingers and stuff like that, and I feel like they feel like crap when I wake up, just from, like, how many times I've, like, gripped things and moved a lot of heavy things around, and it does suck. You do feel that it, like, wears on you, but, you know, I'm just doing it because I'm trying to fight for a better life. And what I want out of life, like I mentioned, my ideal life, it's not much, you know? And I think that I can get it. I really do, because, you know, no one will really be impeding me other than, you know, standard operating procedure, you know, like just this society, and how apparently, you know, money matters more than human beings and stuff like that. So if you can't get money, then you're kind of effed, right? So the only thing that will really impede me is kind of just me not being able to get it. So I'm just sacrificing now to hopefully benefit later. Could it be a lie? Could it be all for naught? Yeah, I don't deny that. But I'm going to keep trying and hope that it'll pay off, you know? Hope's hope. And that's why, like, I'm not just leaving it to hope. I'm, you know, using my effort, right? And speaking with my actions. I'm saving my money. I'm not talking to freaking checks. Not wasting my money on checks. You know, the only thing I really, like, to be honest, I don't even look at chicks like that, you know? Like, it's like I don't even really feel, like, attracted to chicks like that, you know? Like, and I don't mean it in that way, you sick bastards. I mean it in, like, what chicks are versus what you see them as are two different things. And I've said that in my previous videos, right? I can be attracted enough to sleep with one, but can I really see myself, like, living with one, like, long term? Like, I don't see that. I don't see that. And that's kind of what I mean, you know? I'm not wasting my money on freaking gals, so it stays right in the pocket, you know? No need to take them shopping, no need for the dates, the food, the eating out, all that bullcrap. No need for that, you know? So I know that I can probably get this life, you know? If anything, just a peaceful life where I'm able to, like, you know, do a lot of things for myself. What I really, really want, though, like I said, is to, like, get this freaking doll stuff going, because I really do want to save the ones who can't be saved, you know? All these simps that just want to, like, freaking throw money at chicks and be, like, carpets and stuff like that, get stepped on, I don't really give a rat's arse about them. But the guys that mainly just want something, some kind of companionship, and are willing to, like, freaking consider something like this, I think that it would be nice to give them that. It would be. So that's what I'd really like to do. But as usual, I'll go ahead and end it here, guys. Call them a ride. Thank you guys for watching it. There it is. See? That's that 8-hour shift, man. I'm telling you. Thank you guys for listening and watching. See? Brain is skipping ahead. God bless. I will see you guys next time.